All right, let's talk about price. Behind every single price tag you see, from your morning coffee to your car, there's a hidden story. It's this constant tug of war, right? Between two powerful unseen forces. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain and really get into the fundamentals of demand and supply.
I mean, have you ever wondered why a flight costs a fortune during the holidays, but it's a total bargain in February? Or remember a few years back when the price of face masks just went through the roof? Well, it's not random. There is a powerful logic at play here, and I promise, by the end of this, you're going to start seeing it absolutely everywhere.
Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. We're going to build it up piece by piece. First up, the price puzzle. Then we'll decode the buyer's side, that's demand. After that, we'll flip it and look at the seller's side, the story of supply. Then, the really fun part, we'll bring them together to find that sweet spot. And to wrap it all up, we'll actually use this stuff to predict how markets move. Sound good? Let's do it.
All right, so first things first, every price is born in what we call a market. And, a market can be anything. Really, it's just any place where buyers and sellers meet up. And that's it. Those are our two key players. Buyers, they're the demand side, and sellers, they're the supply side. It's how they interact that solves this whole price puzzle.
So let's start with us, you and me, the consumers, the buyers. If we want to understand pricing, we've got to start with what drives our decisions. And this right here is the world of demand.
Okay, now this is super important. In economics, demand isn't just, wanting something. I mean, I want a private jet, right? But I can't afford it, and I definitely don't have a plan to buy one. So in economic terms, I don't have demand for a private jet. Demand is the whole shebang. You want it, you can actually afford it, and you have a real plan to buy it.
And that idea leads us straight to the absolute foundation of how we as buyers behave. It's called the law of demand. And honestly, it's just common sense, right? When something gets more expensive, we buy less of it. And when the price drops, like if there's a big sale, we buy more. It's that simple, a straightforward inverse relationship.
And this graph just shows that law perfectly. This is a demand curve for, let's say, energy bars. You've got the price going up and down and the quantity people want going left and right. So check it out. Let's start way up high, at point E. The price is $2.50. At that price, people only want 5,000 bars. But watch what happens when the price drops. Follow that curve down to point B. Price is now just $1, and boom, suddenly people want to buy 15,000 of them. That slide down the curve is all because the price changed.
Okay, listen up, because this is probably the most important thing to get in this whole section. There's a huge difference between a change in quantity demanded and a change in demand. A change in price gives you that movement along the curve we just saw. But what happens if something other than price changes?
So let's see what that looks like. Imagine the news breaks, everyone gets a raise, more income. Now what? Look at this, the entire blue curve has jumped over and become this new pink curve. That is a change in demand. It means that now, at every single price, people want more bars than they did before. Let's just pick one, say $1.50. On the old curve, they wanted 10 million. Now, with more cash in their pockets, they want 20 million. The whole situation has changed.
And it's not just income that can do this. Think about it. Preferences, right? What if a new health craze makes these bars super popular? The whole curve shifts right. Or what about population? A big company moves to town, the population doubles. Suddenly demand for everything, including these bars, just shoots up. You could also think about the price of something related. Like, what if the price of a substitute, maybe a protein shake, suddenly doubled? Well, a lot of people would switch over to energy bars. And again, that demand curve shifts to the right. All these outside things, they change the entire demand picture.
All right, so we've got the buyer's side down. Now let's flip the coin. Let's head over to the other side of the market. It's time to get into the seller's head and understand the story of supply.
So, the logic here is basically the mirror image of demand. The law of supply is simple. Producers are willing to make and sell more of something if they can get a higher price for it. I mean, that just makes sense, doesn't it? A higher price means more potential profit, and that's a heck of an incentive to ramp up production.
And here's what that looks like as a graph. See how this supply curve goes up? Let's follow it. Down at a low price, just $1, companies are only willing to supply about 6 million bars. It's just not that worth it for them. But what if the market price suddenly jumps to $2.50? Well, now we're talking. They're motivated to pump out way more, 15 million bars. And just like we saw with demand, this movement along the curve is caused only by a change in price.
So what would make the entire curve move? Again, it's those outside factors.
Let's say a new piece of technology is invented that makes producing these bars way cheaper. Now the producers can offer more bars at every single price. See? The original blue supply curve shifts over to the new pink one. That's a change in supply. The basic rules of production have changed.
Okay, so we've built our two big pieces. We understand the buyers and we understand the sellers. Now for the main event. Let's put them both on the same stage and see how a price is actually determined.
This magic moment where they meet is called market equilibrium. It's that perfect point of balance where what the buyers want to do perfectly matches what the sellers plan to do. I like to think of it like a tug of war where both teams are pulling with the exact same amount of force. It's stable, nobody's left wanting more, and there's no product left sitting on the shelves.
And there it is. Where that downward sloping demand curve crosses the upward sloping supply curve, that one single point where they intersect, that's our equilibrium. And look what it tells us. The equilibrium price for an energy bar is $1.50. And at that price, the equilibrium quantity is 10 million bars. At this one price, and only this one price, the number of bars people plan to buy is the exact same as the number of bars companies plan to sell.
But what happens if the price is wrong? I mean, what if it's too high, like $2? Well, at that price, sellers are excited to sell 15 million bars, but buyers, they only want 7 million. That huge gap between them, that's a surplus. You've got piles and piles of unsold energy bars. Now flip it. What if the price is too low? Say at $1. Now you've got a shortage. Buyers are going crazy. They want 15 million bars, but the sellers are only willing to make 6 million. You've got empty shelves.
And here's the cool part. Markets automatically fix themselves. When there's a surplus, all those unsold bars force sellers to lower their prices to clear them out. When there's a shortage, all those desperate buyers allow sellers to raise their prices. So these pressures are constantly, naturally, pushing the price right back towards that one single point of balance, back to equilibrium.
So this isn't just some abstract theory. It's actually a really powerful tool. Once you get this framework, you can start predicting how things in the real world are going to change prices. Let's see it in action.
Okay, so here's our starting line. Our energy bar market is perfectly balanced, in equilibrium. The price is $1.50, and 10 million bars are being sold every week. Everything's chugging along just fine. But let's throw a wrench in the works.
Bam! A huge health study comes out. It says energy bars are a superfood. What does that do? It changes people's preferences. So demand goes up, and that whole demand curve shifts to the right. Now look where the new intersection is. The market finds a new balance. The price goes up to $2.50, and the total number of bars sold also goes up to 15 million.
Okay, let's try a different one. We'll start back at our original equilibrium. Now let's imagine a new technology makes producing the bars way cheaper. This is a seller-side change, so the entire supply curve shifts to the right. And what does our model tell us will happen? The new equilibrium price actually falls to $1, and the quantity sold rises to 15 million. So more people get bars, and they get them for less. Pretty cool, right?
And that's really the power of this whole thing. So from now on, the next time you see the price of gas jump, or a stock price move, or even the price of avocados change, you'll have the tool to figure out why. You'll know the right question to ask. Did something happen on the buyer's side or the seller's side? Was it a change in demand, or was it a change in supply? Thanks for joining me.